everybody. Mr. Brown here for your fourth day, Proverbs chapter 4, in our 31 Days of Wisdom, a journey through the book of Proverbs. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a great time, and I'm enjoying it, and hope you are too. So let's get started. First of all, a question. Do you watch reruns? Do you watch some of the same shows over and over and over again? Like, this is a really good episode of it, or just a show in general. Like, I like The Cosby Show. Grew up on it, and it's on Netflix or Hulu, one of those two, and we watched The Cosby Show. Good, wholesome TV. And I know some people who love the movie Finding Nemo, and they watch it over and over and over again. And I think some of us like reruns, but there's others of us who don't like reruns, or we get offended when somebody tells us the same thing over and over again. Like, I heard that already. You got to tell me again. Well, apparently we have to tell you again because you didn't hear the first time. Well, throughout the Bible repeats itself over and over again. And already in the book of Proverbs, Solomon is repeating himself already. He's not afraid of reruns. That's what I said in the text devotion. The text devotion said this. Solomon didn't have a problem with reruns because he repeats himself over and over and over again. And he does it here in Proverbs chapter 4. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1, he says this. Hear, O my son, a father's instructions, and be attentive that you may gain insight. For I give you good precepts. Do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son with my father, tender, the only one in his sight of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast to my words. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get insight. Do not forget and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is to get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. Chapter 4, verse 7 has really stuck with me over the years. I heard a preacher preach on it once, and he said, wisdom is the chief thing in the King James Version. Wisdom is the chief thing, therefore get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. And that has stuck with me because I think it's so important, not just to pretend you know things, but to get understanding. Earlier in the other chapters, he said, ask questions, cry out loud for wisdom because you can get it. Here he tells his son again, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. As we said before, if you get wisdom, you're good. If you're good, then they can't get you. But here he says it again, get wisdom, get understanding. Although it costs all you have, you got to get it. This is why. Because it will keep you. It will guard you. It will help you throughout your life. And so in Proverbs chapter 4, again, I can't speak on everything in this passage because I don't know everything in the passage, but there's some things that definitely jump out at me. And what jumped out at me the most, starting in verse 10, because he gives the way of the wicked and the way of the righteous. As son, as you get my wisdom, as you hear what I'm saying, there's a way you can live. So you need to get this wisdom, but you need to apply it to your lives. And you need to get it and apply it and live a certain way. And as you go through your life, my son, there will be people on the path of wickedness, and there will be people on the path of righteousness. You have to make a choice. And I think Solomon's desire, and ours as well, is that we would choose to apply wisdom and go on the path of the righteous. So look at what he says. In verse 10, he says this, hear, my son, accept my words, that your years of your life may be many. We all want a long life, so listen up. Verse 11, I have taught you the way of wisdom. I have led you in the path of uprightness. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered, and when you run, you will not stumble. He says, son, so if you listen to this wisdom and you go about your way, you live, you walk, you run, you won't have problems. Not that you won't have problems, but you won't be hampered and you won't stumble. Look at verse 13. Keep hold of instruction. Do not let go of her. Guard her, for she is your life. Verse 14. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of the evil. So now he's getting to practical stuff here. As you go in your life, I told you, if you apply wisdom, you won't be hindered and you won't stumble as you run, but you have a choice to make. It's all about your choices. You choose, as I said on the sign back there, you make choices and your choices make you. That is so true. Solomon is saying not exactly that, but I think he's getting to the point. Look at verse 11 again. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in the path of uprightness. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered, and when you run, you will not stumble. Keep hold of instruction. Do not let go of her. Guard her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of the evil. Verse 15. Avoid it. Do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass on. He just said it right there. That listen. Don't go on that path. And I know temptation can be so tempting. That's why it's called temptation. See, being tempted is not sin. It's not a sin to be tempted. It's a sin when you give in to temptation, because the Bible says Jesus was tempted in every point like we are, yet without sin. So temptation is not a sin. It's when you give in to it. But the problem with many of us is this. We want to get closer and closer and closer and still say, I'm good. I didn't do it. But the closer you get, the more problems you have. So he's saying, go away from it, move on. Don't go on this path. Don't go on this path at all. He gives more detail. Verse 16. For they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong, and they are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and they drink the wine of violence. So he says these people on this road, they can't sleep. So don't even go near it, because it has consumed them. It is what their desire is all built up on them doing wrong to someone, committing evil acts. The wicked are this way. They're consumed with this. So he says, don't even go. And it's funny, as I thought about when I was growing up, we used to always say, like, if somebody broke in your house, oh, they broke in your house, or they beat them up the other day, or whenever they did something, it was negative. But we also said this, they say you shouldn't eat Pop Rocks and soda because it'll explode in your mouth. Well, who is the they? Are they the good people or are they the bad people? Well, there's two groups of they. The they that are on the path of righteousness and they who are on the path of wickedness. And he's saying, stay away from the path of wickedness, because they can't help but to do evil. It has consumed them, and it will consume you. Instead, my son, stay on the path of the righteous. Look at what he says. Verse 18. But the path of the righteous is like a light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. Another contrast. The way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. So he's saying, son, you got to get this wisdom, and then you got to apply it on the path of your life. Choosing to go down the path of the wicked or the path of the righteous. The path of the wicked, it will consume you. They want you to always do wrong. They can't sleep until someone has stumbled, and that someone could be you one day. So don't be involved with them. And that instead, stay on the path of the righteous, where it gets brighter and brighter. And it may not seem as fun in the moment, but long term, you want to go down the path of the righteous. It's your choice. You choose. Solomon said, again, get wisdom, and not only get it, but apply it. Hope you will do that for your own life, because we want you to live for God by connecting faith and life. And what a better way to connect faith and life but to walk in the way of righteous by getting and applying wisdom in your life. That's it for this text devotion, or this 31 days of wisdom, day 4, Proverbs chapter 4. Check us out tomorrow, Proverbs chapter 5. And again, we'd love for you to join the conversation. Some of you have said things on our Connecting Faith and Life Facebook page or Facebook group. You can join that group. Just go to proclaimministries.com or click on the Facebook button. You'll find more about all we're doing with this 31 days of wisdom at proclaimministries.com. Thanks for joining us, and I will see you. No, I won't see you. We'll be back here another day.